I was at work. Never trust a fart.
Oh no.
I've woken up in the middle of the night covered, covered.
Oh
Just
my god. So like did your body like have times to poop, or is it always like pooping since it doesn't really have like you're not like releasing your poop, it kind of just like comes out. So is there like a time schedule, or is it always coming out a little bit all day?
I'm glad that you asked that because there's such a big misconception. Like, I have no control over my stool. It could either constantly be filling my bag. It's like your
So you
intestines.
could be pooping right now.
Yes, while we're on the call.
Well, you mentioned your son, so let's talk about your son a little bit.
Mhm.
So, like, when he was first diagnosed, were you happy since you have the same disease? Or you were like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit?
Yes. I'm going to be really honest. He cried when he found out because he's only 12, about to be 13 right
Mm-hmm.
now. He was diagnosed at 11. I've had IBD for so long. He's seen me go through so much. So it was really heartbreaking for me to have him be diagnosed. And he even asked me, his first question was like, am I gonna die? And I was like, absolutely not. Like, I'm alive. I'm living my life here. Look at
Yeah.
everything that I've accomplished, even having IBDs.
Well, I hope he knows like he had like the luckiest mom on the planet to know exactly what he needs.
Everybody tells him that his GI says the same thing, and I'm just thankful that we caught it early. That's all I'm thankful for. I'm thankful, and it helps me see my purpose and my journey too. Now it really has put me into perspective because for years, you're just like, I'm the only one in my family with this condition. Why me?
How much do you show or hide towards your son of what you're dealing with? Because he has his own shit to deal with too.
Joe, this is a question that really gets to me. Only because, one, no one's ever asked me it, and two, it's actually something that I think a lot about. And then as he got older, we started to see him develop anxiety. And we had ended up going into counseling with him, and they had mentioned, maybe it's because he doesn't know what's going on. So we started to let him know, hey, this is what's happening. I'm okay. But just communicating with him. And that was all he needed. And he did a 360 after that.
Hello, welcome to my podcast, Too Much Fun Joe Stooch. I am Joe Stooch, and I'll be giving my to Keyla. Keyla is a runaway model and an advocate for Crohn's and ulcerative colitis. She has ulcerative colitis for about 10 years now and 2 years with Crohn. She also currently rocking a ileostomy bag. While she is being an advocate for others, she is a personal advocate to her son, who also has ulcerative colitis. For newcomers, ulcerative colitis is where it causes inflammatory and ulcers in the digestive tract. So I saw you in a Time article, and you say you have an emergency outfit and a system in place with your employer to accommodate your needs. First, I want to hear about your most embarrassing story revolving around your IBD. It happens to everyone, and you know shit happens.
Shit happens. I love that. All right. Most embarrassing story of IBD. Oh my gosh, I have so many. I have
Oh man,
I have
okay.
pooped my pants more than I would love to share or even admit.
This episode could be up for 3 hours long, but let's just randomly choose one.
Uh, I would say I was at work. Never trust a fart.
Oh no.
So I had just had surgery. I had just had my J pouch connected. So J pouch is when they remove your large intestine. They give you a temporary ileostomy for a little bit, and then what they do is they take the small intestine and connect it to what you have left of your rectum, so you can use the bathroom like normal or like everyone else. you lose control and like your stool is never
Oh
formed
no.
because you're missing your large intestine. Your large intestine is what forms your stool in your body and what pulls all the water out and everything. So I was at work and I was about 3 months post op, and at the time I worked in the healthcare field. I worked as a LASIK eye surgery assistant, and we were in the OR. And
Oh no.
I had the urge to pass gas, and I did, and it was just the worst. It went everywhere down my leg. I couldn't do anything.
Oh
I
my god.
couldn't move. I just had to do my best. Thankfully, we were almost done the procedure. So LASIK is actually super quick. It's maybe 10-minute tops. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm thankful that it was a short and like towards the end of the procedure. And thankfully, I had a spare pair of scrubs.
Oh my
That
god.
it was there and it happened, and I'm proud to share it with you and everyone.
I would go to you just for that story because you finished your job even though you had shit down your pants.
I did. I'm like, that's being a dedicated employee. Okay.
Oh my god, that's insane though.
Well,
Did anyone even like comment about it? Because I'm sure it smells and stuff.
nobody commented. Nobody said anything. I mean, they all knew I had IBD. They all knew
Okay.
that I had gone through surgery. I couldn't tap out. I couldn't have anyone come and take over for me because it was just me and the surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the patient. So, I couldn't just leave the doctor there by themselves. So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, no one said anything. If they did or if they knew, they didn't say it to me.
Oh my god. I mean, if I didn't know, like, if I'm with it on the surgery, I'd be like, did she just shit her pants just now? I'd be like, is anyone like aware of what's happening? Am I on medicine or something? Like, what, am I going crazy? Oh my god.
Oh yeah. I did. It happened, and I was around a few people. It wasn't a crowd. That's the way I see it.
Oh my god. So yeah, I would recommend everyone to Kayla for everyone gets your eye surgery done. No matter the circumstances, she will get it done, regardless how embarrassed she is. Oh my god.
That's right.
Wow, that's a great Yelp review right there.
I should throw that out there to them.
Yeah, just so you mentioned that you were 3 months post surgery and you had a J pouch. So now you have a ileostomy bag. I think I'm getting it right. So now you don't shoot yourself, or does that still happen sometimes?
Oh no, it can still happen. Ostomy bags pop
Oh,
off all the time. I've woken up in the middle of the night covered, covered.
oh
Just
my God.
it's a bag held by adhesive, and it gets filled with air because when you have an ostomy, you don't use your rectum anymore. Your rectum is like not there. Nothing comes out
Yeah.
that way. So gas builds up in that bag, and it's just like a balloon. It just pops right off if you don't take care
Really?
of it. If you're sleeping, I mean, your body tends to like wake you up when the bag is full and when you need to
Okay.
air it out. But sometimes you're in deep sleep. Sometimes you roll over. Sometimes
Oh my God.
you just don't feel it, you know? So I have woken up to some disasters, but I'd say lately, in the last 6 months, maybe, let me knock on wood, it's been good, and I've found tricks on how to avoid that.
So is it kind of really just a bad luck kind of thing? There's nothing to truly prevent it. Like you can't just wear like a diaper around your whole body.
No. Like I said, there's ways, but I feel like they're not conventional. You could not eat after a certain time so that your ostomy isn't emptying so much. Foods that you eat, certain ones kind of affect it more than others. Again, everybody's different, but at least for me, that's kind of how it's been.
I don't know if like it's a bit different for you versus a regular person that goes poop, but so like me, I don't know how, but I train my body to go poop every morning after breakfast, and it's great because I don't have to like worry about pooping for the rest of the day. So like, did your body like have times to poop, or is it always like pooping since it doesn't really have like you're not like releasing your poop, it kind of just like comes out. So is there like a time schedule, or is it always coming out a little bit all day?
So, I'm glad that you asked that because there's such a big misconception. Like, I have no control over my stool. It could either constantly be filling my bag. It's like your
So you could be
intestines.
pooping right now.
Yes, while we're on the call. Um, I don't have control over it, and it's kind of more like your heart, like while you're sleeping, your heart's always working, right? It's always pumping, it's always doing what it's got to do. Similar to your intestines are always working, even though you're not always in the bathroom. So it's just like their exit has changed. It's just changed to go into a bag. It's always secreting and absorbing stuff. So something sometimes comes out a little bit. Any water you have gonna cause things to come out, but it's not a constant like all day, all day, all day. There's periods where no, yeah, but for the most part, it's always getting something in there every little bit of time. Maybe like every hour or so.
I wonder if it's like so like when you eat spicy foods and it's like sometimes it's like your butt would be not like can't handle it. Like, so do you feel the same effects if you were to eat spicy food? Like it would just get like irritated a little bit.
Yes and no. So like I've had spicy food before and I'll have like some slight irritation, but anyone with IBD typically they recommend you to not have spicy food because it's just not
Mm-hmm.
good for our tummies. So I try to avoid it anyway. But if like I was to have a drink, it increases my output, but that's because it's alcohol. It's just kind of common normal things. I see it normal. I just say like I have a tummy like a baby. That's all. You just gotta
Okay.
baby it a little
Okay.
bit.
Yeah. Like I'm thinking. I'm trying to think to like you say like air will build up and it'll be like form like a balloon, and then so like when you take the bag off, do you sometimes feel like air come out because it has a place to release?
Yes. So like I said, your intestine is kind of like your heart, so it's always working. So when I'm changing my bag, sometimes yeah, you will get your hand and everything covered in poop. It's just like part of the process sometimes. But there are tricks that you can use. Like I know in the morning, since I haven't eaten in so long, I know my bag isn't as active. So I always try to change my bag in the mornings before anything because I will have a higher risk of not making a mess.
So are you saying that you change your bag every like 24 hours?
No, I change. So there's two parts to an ostomy. There's a wafer, which is the part that sticks to your stomach, and then there's an actual bag part. They come in one piece, they come in two piece. Tons of different people make them, different shapes, different sizes, all kinds. I change my appliance every 2 days, but everybody's different. Someone can change it once a week, and it also depends on what kind of an ostomy you have. So if you have a colostomy, you might change it maybe once a week. If you have an ileostomy, which is your smaller intestine, you have more output because again, you don't have like the mechanics in you to make that harder stool, so you have to change it more frequently sometimes. I change mine every 2 days.
Oh, that's pretty good. There's some maintenance, some maintenance, but like not as much.
Yeah, there's not too much maintenance to it, and then You empty it as many times. Everybody empties it differently. I empty mine somewhere between 4 to 6 times a day.
Oh, so you change the bag, but you have to empty the bag throughout the day,
Yes.
regardless.
Or you could have like a closed bag where you just rip the bag off, throw it right away, and tack on a new one.
I would hate to go through your trash to find something.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yes.
why did this lady have a bunch of bags of shit in her garbage?
I just see it as like diaper bags, Like when someone has a baby, I just use a diaper
I mean,
jean.
I could look at your family and there's no baby in sight. So like, who is this shit here?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So like, go back to your work accommodation. So like, what? I mean, just hearing you talk seems like you have a regular, like, I get regular bathroom break. So like, what does the employer have to do to accommodate you?
Well, in my current job or my previous jobs?
I, I'm not sure where to go, so I'll let you take the reins of like what. Let's just do like a general sense of accommodations, I guess.
Being close to a bathroom, making sure there's a bathroom accessible to me all times, or one that's like somewhere close to me. Um, I mean, I have like food restrictions and stuff like that if they're feeding me. But that's really most of the accommodations that I need. I'd say when I worked in the healthcare field, I required definitely more because that job required me to be in a more secluded area. Like I was more limited to who I had to help me out and things like that. So it definitely, I had to do a lot of planning with my meals. I had to make sure at that job that after the pooping incident, basically, I needed to make sure someone was there to like back me up if need be. But that's just because, again, you don't know when you're going to need the bathroom. So,
Yeah. Like the bathroom is kind of like a cold place that you don't really want to like hang out there, but since you have to go all the time, like what do you do to make it like a more comforting place for you?
well, my bathroom is like my sanctuary. So, since I'm always in there, I make sure it smells good. I have lots of candles in there. I've made it really fun in there. I have these silly posters in there, but it's funny. It's just like of skeletons
it,
cleaning a
it
bathroom.
sounds like a college bathroom.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it what it is. Yeah. I just tried to make it as comfortable for myself and my son because he has IBD too. So we kind of fight over the bathroom a little bit. I mean, it's a little bit easier for me now because I have my ostomy, so I can hold
Hmm.
it technically longer than him. But I try to just make it comfortable. We definitely, if you don't know what it is, we have a squatty potty, and a squatty potty is just like this little thing that wraps around your toilet at the bottom, and you put your feet on the sides of it, and it's supposed to
Hmm.
ergonomically make you have your bowel movements a little bit better. So that's definitely a mandatory thing that we have in our bathroom. Again, lots of candles and good scents in there. And I have a little space heater because I don't like being cold in there. So,
Yeah.
if I could, I'd have a heated toilet seat. But yeah, I'd make it all warm in there.
Yeah, I mean they have the heated tiles you can go and
Yes.
that's doable. I mean I have a recommendation. I actually did bought $300 worth of candles from homesick.com and I
Mm.
actually highly recommend them. They smell really good and they last a long time.
You will
Yeah,
have
and they
to
have a lot
send
of
me the
great.
information when we're done.
Yeah, I bought $300 worth because they were having a sale and it's kind of like they were free shipping. So like I'm thinking buy all the candles I want from it. I bought like half the store.
Mm.
But yeah, every flavor been really good and it's really strong too. Some of them like, that you smell it for like 20 minutes and it's gone. This one lasts for like a really long time. So I highly recommend it to cover the poop smells, I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand like why you want to make it a happy place because you're there so often. Like I'll have like a TV in there and like a
I
couch
could,
in there too.
I could if I would. In a way, though, it sounds kind of gross, like, but in another way, I'm kind of like, I would do it. I would.
It's understandable. Like you want to make it a comforting place. Like you don't want to. Like you're already dealing with your own shit, literally and figuratively, but you want to make it like a happy place too, because most just go in there for like 5 minutes and then an hour on their phone. But it's but I don't know. The bathroom's also a nice comforting place too because it's very like solo, so like you can be yourself and just be like let everything out, and then when you close the door, it's all behind you. You know, it's a very weird, different place in the whole world.
There's like a calming sense of it being in there, and like, just so many things can happen. Like, you're in the shower, washing away just so many things, baths, or I love taking baths too, so that's another big reason why I love making the bathroom comfy. It really makes my stomach feel better. And before, when I was using the bathroom the normal way, it would help a lot with any kind of rectal irritation I was having too.
Well, you mentioned your son, so let's talk about your son a little bit.
Hmm.
So, like, when he was first diagnosed, were you happy since you have the same disease? Or you were like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit?
Yes. Yes to both, but more the shit. um I'm gonna be really honest. He cried when he found out because he's only 12, about to be 13 right
Mm-hmm.
now. He was diagnosed at 11. I've had IBD for so long. He's seen me go through so much.
Yeah, like, since basically the beginning of his life.
Yes. He's seen me go through just waking up in the bathroom floor sometimes because I just can't leave the bathroom. He's seen me through a lot of hospital visits. He's seen me go through so much. And so it was really heartbreaking for me to have him be diagnosed. And he even asked me, his first question was like, am I gonna die? And I was like, absolutely not. Like, I'm alive. I'm living my life here. Look at everything
Yeah.
that I've accomplished, even having IBD. So I think having me as his role model and his sort of guide through this has really helped him see it in a different perspective.
I can totally understand why your son would react the way he did. It's just, yeah, it is heartbreaking too. But like now, how is are his symptoms kind of similar to yours? A lot seem because like in the past decade, like so much has happened, with research and technology. So like is his journey different than yours, or is it more the same highway? I guess.
So when I was a kid, I always had a lot of stomach issues. A lot of the symptoms that I started to see in him, I had, but my parents would take me to the doctors, and my parents are immigrants from the Dominican Republic, so their first language is Spanish. They don't really speak English. And so I would have to be the translator for them when they would take me to the doctors. So I'm not sure if it was because of the language barrier. I don't know what happened when it came to me and being diagnosed so late in my life. I think with my son, I think it was helpful that he had me again to sort of catch all the signs and have him be on a gluten-free, dairy-free diet already. Because I wasn't going to make two different meals in my house. Like, it wasn't going to.
Yeah.
So, so he was already gluten-free without knowing it. A lot,
Ah, okay.
a lot of.
Well, I hope he doesn't watch this episode, so he doesn't realize he was being cheated on.
Oh no, he's like he like loves. He's just like, I can't even tell the difference. So, um,
Mm-hmm.
but he came to realize later on when he saw his nutritionist, like, oh, I already do these things. So I think that was super helpful for him. I did see, and in his treatment already, when they placed him on his medications, he's been on them now for a year, and he's already in remission, which means that
Wow.
He's like symptomatically free of any symptoms of inflammation. And typically that's whatever your symptoms are. For him, it was having blood and mucus in his stool. For me, since I've been diagnosed, I've never been in remission or been told that I'm in remission. So already
Okay.
I see him having a better future, which for me is like more than enough.
Yeah.
And they did say that boys do tend to do better on the medication that he's on. Like I had been on the medication and it didn't work as well for me. So I think that's also a really good sign for him as well.
I'm trying to think that I think just him being on a gluten diet have helped him tremendously.
Absolutely. Yes.
I feel like that just made him go into remission and not have his body go to damages. Because I'm sure when you were feeling sick, you didn't change your diet at all or anything. You just kept eating terrible food, not knowing what was happening, and then, the damage keeps. Okay, once it's damaged, it's hard to like go back. So, I guess your body never just damaged that much, so it was just able to heal, and he can be fine.
Yes, and paying attention to the signs too. Like when I was in a flare before, I didn't know maybe you should change your diet or not do this or try to not stress out as much or just all the factors that go into stressing out your body. I'm thankful that I've taught him the tools that he needs so when he does get older, he can manage things on his own.
Well, I hope he knows like he had like the luckiest mom on the planet to know exactly what he needs.
Everybody tells him that his GI says the same thing, and I'm just like, I'm just thankful that we caught it early. That's all I'm thankful for. I'm thankful, and it helps me see my purpose in my journey too. Now it really has put me into perspective because for years, you're just like, I'm the only one in my family with this condition. Why me? You can go through so many things, and then just to know that, okay, maybe I got this because it was preparing me, or who knows, like maybe it was preparing him for a cure or whatever.
I think it was so that you can come on the podcast and share your shit story with me. I think that's the
That
reason.
yes, this is exactly part of the journey.
Yeah. All right. So like I have here that you were on another episode with somebody else, and then you mentioned that you're in pain every single day. So since you're a mom and you're supposed to be like this strong woman towards your family and your son especially, so how much do you show, or how much do you show or hide towards your son of what you're dealing with, because he has his own shit to deal with too.
Joe, this is a question that really gets to me. Only because, one, no one's ever asked me it, and two, it's actually something that I think a lot about. It's a lot to deal with, being a mom, life, all the factors being placed in. But I try to kind of stay in gratitude and see what my purpose is and see, okay, this disease was presented to me. I'm trying to do the best that I can with it and just keep moving forward, honestly. that's all that's all I'm trying to do. It's difficult being in pain every day. I did in the beginning sort of hide things from him. And then as he got older, we started to see him develop anxiety. And we had ended up going into counseling with him, and they had mentioned, maybe it's because he doesn't know what's going on. So we started to let him know, hey, this is what's happening. I'm okay. But just communicating with him. And that was all he needed. And he did a 360 after that. Being honest and open with him about what is happening. And mom is going to be okay. This is just what's going on with her. And that's it. But doesn't mean it's going to happen to you. I hope it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
But just keep reassuring him, like, mom is going to be okay.
Um,
It was heavy, I know.
yeah, it's a lot to take in. And it's a difficult situation. Just, I'm not a parent. I mean, I hope I'm not a dad, and I hope I don't have a kid running around
Out there that you don't know
and I didn't
about.
know about. Yeah,
Joe.
but yeah, it's I think it's, like I'm not a parent, so I don't really know, but I think I can imagine the difficulties of you wanting to be the strong parent. Sure, they think you're a superhero, but that's not always the case. And I think it also helps that the son had the disease too, so you can kind of like understand like why you're on a toilet all the time or on the floor or whatever, because a regular person wouldn't understand. Like, so you poop like 6 times a day, like take some, I even take some like Imodium or something, like, you know. But
Mhm.
yeah, I can understand. But it's great to hear that you put your son in therapy and like he's understanding of the situation and made it 360 because you're at a young age to be impressionable and you want to be human. But like that's why I can't be a parent because I don't know like what, like, do I be human? Do I be a parent? Like, what's in between? Like, I don't want them to
Yeah.
hate me, you know? It's so difficult.
Literally, everything you just said is as soon as I found out I was pregnant with him, I was like, I need to read every single book in parenthood that there is because I have no idea what we're doing with this thing. Like, could they just have a caption across their forehead that says, like, when they're hungry, when they want to sleep? It's just, it is such a learning experience. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. And I'm like I said, I think just communicating with him, being honest with him about everything has just changed so much. And I come from a family that does not communicate or talk about feelings or any of that. So that itself has been a challenge for me, but I wanted to just be better for him, and communication is key is what I'm learning. And you know,
yeah, I mean,
we're all growing.
as a disabled kid growing up, I'm sure you'll notice, especially now that he can mature a lot faster than all his peers just because of his disease and also dealing with what you have too, that he has to mature more, understand like the reality of things.
Yes, yes. And it's brought us closer too. It's him since him being diagnosed. We have a better understanding of each other. It's just a very humbling and good experience for both of us, I want to say, thankfully.
I, as positive as it is, it's also horrible because now I'm assuming you only have one bathroom, so it's like, who gets the bathroom first now?
I
Like,
know. I'm dying to have two bathrooms. I would love to have, like, literally, someone would make my if I got to make a wish, my make a wish would be two bathrooms. That's it. I don't care where it is. It could be an outhouse. I don't care. I just want two bathrooms. That's it.
yeah, like with the heated floors and a TV. You gotta say that too.
That'd be a perk, of course.
Well, the question is now that you say that you're open with him about it, but as a child, you also don't want to share your deep feelings with the parent because, for one, just talking about my experience, that you already kind of know you're a burden on them more than the next, more than the person that's a normal kid. So like they don't want to like overburden you too, knowing that you're going through a lot of shit already. They don't want to burden you even more. So do you feel your son is being? Another thing I want to add is that also he's a guy, so like guys are more, keep their feelings to themselves. They kind of want to be the man, even though he's only 12. But like,
No.
we're inputted that a man had to like be strong and like what a man should do, I guess. But like, do you feel he's open to you in that capacity?
So I'm glad that you bring that up too, because that's a big stigma, and I love when male, just well, anyone that identifies as male speaks up and shares their story, because there's such that stigma, like with men sharing feelings, just so many stigmas there. And one thing that I wanted to change with him was communicating and being honest and open with me. So since he was small, he's always kind of been like a mama's boy. We've always just connected. He's very in tune with like his surroundings and feelings, and how he's very empathetic. I guess I started since he was small, just kind of like, I don't want to say training him, but showing him like it's okay to tell me this, like if this is bringing up something, or if you're angry, or if you want to cry, or if you don't want to talk right now, that's okay. But it took us some time to get to that place. It wasn't easy, and it hasn't been easy, and it's always a struggle. And there's days where he doesn't want to talk about things, and it breaks my little mom heart, because he's my boy and I want him to tell me everything. But
Yeah.
also, I'm not his best friend. Like,
Hmm.
he doesn't have to have that with me all the time. He has other friends that he knows he can talk to too. I mean, they're 12. They don't know much regarding
Yeah.
Crohn's and IBD, but he knows, and that he can talk to his counselor too. And I'm trying to give him as many tools as I can. I say put as many tools in the box as you can, because then,
Yeah.
you never know when you're going to use them.
I mean, this is the guy, like, I don't know if it's really a guy versus women thing. I think it's more just a guy thing that we don't really want to talk about what we have at all, because kind of like when we talk about it, doesn't really like help in any way. It's just more like I have the problem, whatever. Like men are supposed to like fix things, and like unfortunately, our diseases are things that we cannot fix. So like, guys will just like talk to other guys about any random shit just to like have fun and just just have fun and kind of like distract from the world. And I think that's really it. They just want to like kind of forget about it for a little while and just do what guys or boys would do, because I think that what helps the most in terms of like getting through life and then living a happier life. Because if you're just talking about disease all the time, it's just depressing in a way.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, yeah, I get it. It's just I think a lot will change. You say he's 12, so I think a lot will change when he is like 15, when like hormones start coming in, and then he'll going out trying different things. I think it'll change things, but I don't know. The future generation is looking very different from the last generation. We
Oh,
can
they
say
always
that.
are.
Yeah, I'm curious of where it'll end up.
I am
Like,
too.
hope.
Like, I'm hoping somewhere good.
Yeah. So I have here that you are a model. So the question is, so would you consider your ileostomy bag to be a visible or invisible? Because it's visible, but like you can hide it under most clothing. So like, what do you consider it?
See, this is so tricky, because it's like, on the outside, I don't look disabled.
Yeah,
And that's, I
unless you have
feel,
like shit running down your leg or something.
yeah. Or like if I lift up my shirt, like you said. So I'd say invisible, because Crohn's and ulcerative colitis are invisible illnesses. Um, yeah, I'm going with invisible.
So like when you get hired for the modeling, because I know you model. I don't think you model for like having the Z, but you also model for I think what's the word? Anti sex trafficking, I believe, and stuff. So like, are you hired more for like your modeling expertise versus your disease then?
I am. Yes. It's more for my expertise than, I mean, I am represented by one age. I have two agencies that I'm signed with. One actually
Hmm.
represents people with disabilities. So
Yeah.
most of my jobs,
Gamut.
yes, yep, most of my jobs through them are, I'm labeled, as disabled. But I'd say, like, all my runway shows, all my runway work, no one knew that I was disabled, unless I brought it up to them. Majority of them I did mention, but when you're applying to jobs that's not through your agency or certain things, Um, it depends. I have certain images where you can't see my ostomy. I have certain ones where you can. Always submit both just so that someone can see like this is what you're getting. But 90% of the time, they don't even see it or notice it, or it doesn't even bother them. I'd say maybe twice I had a situation where someone kind of questioned it, but and then once someone didn't dress me in like a specific dress because I had my ostomy and it was a see-through dress and they didn't want it to show through on the runway, which is fine because my job as a model is to showcase someone else's work. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my own personal beliefs can't go into that. So I have to
Mm-hmm.
just do my job and keep going. But I'd say 99% of the time, people have been very respectful of it. And there's people that stare at me, there's people that question if I can do certain things because of it, but I don't let it stop me.
I don't think it should limit you of anything. I don't think. I guess I can't like make you do like a cartwheel or something because the last thing we need is shit to fly everywhere.
It wouldn't, first of all. But if I could do a cartwheel, or if I wanted to do a cartwheel, I would still attempt to try. And I
Yeah.
would still be able to do it, ostomy or not.
Okay. Yeah. Ballsy, I guess. So before I take the mic away from you, is there anything you want to say? Promote any words of wisdom, the winning lottery numbers. The mic is all yours.
If I knew the winning lottery numbers, I would not give them away. I'm gonna be honest. Any words of wisdom?
Okay.
I would say whatever it is that you're going through in life, don't let it stop you from achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve. Um, and be kind to each other, loving, and be kind to your bodies because sometimes they put us through a lot, but they also go through so much and carry us through so many things. I'm leaving it on
Okay.
that.
So thank you, Kayla. Okay. Thank you, Kayla, so much for giving me your time, expertise, and sharing your shit story with all of us. Thank you, everyone, for listening and watching, and I'll see everyone next time. Bye.
Bye.